this up for you?
Probably, as long as, yeah, we are able to get this taken care of and move on.
Well, good for you. I mean, come on, you're very lucky to have a defendant like that to work with. Greg Paul, let me ask you, good for you. You did a lot of work. That was smart for you, right? Pat yourself on the back.
Thank you. You know, after they approached me to do the show, I started watching episodes. And I binge watched like hundreds of episodes, and I was like, I gotta start doing some research.
Well, good for you. What a nice guy. What a great guy. And what a smart guy. And keep watching. You'll keep learning, okay?
Doug, I gotta say, this is great work on the defendant's part to do this kind of research. It was deep research, but ultimately it won the case for the defendant because the defect in the car seat and the recall was pretty much all the defendant had to do to blow up the plaintiff's burden of proof.
Marilyn, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
I look at the clock on the bedstand next to my side of the bed, and I'm grateful that I woke up. That actually does happen in the mornings. I'm like, oh, enough day. And then my dog. I go down to my dog.
Well, as you're walking out of the bedroom, the dog is usually asleep on the carpet, the rug right in front of the front door, right?
And what happens as I'm coming down the
You
steps?
immediately hear this thumping sound of
Boom,
boom.
boom. She's still asleep, but her tail is wagging because she's sensing that I'm coming, and she's banging her tail against the carpet.
Right, it's loud.
Yeah, that happens when either of us wake up.
She has a happy tail.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
What's the first thing you do?
Well, let's see. When I wake up, I get up off the floor and try to figure out where I am. I go downstairs. I stumble downstairs. I make some coffee, and you've already been up for an hour usually.
Right.
Right. You're in the middle of God knows what project. There's probably stuff all over the place, and
then you say to me, I'm still having my cup of coffee until what time? Till like several hours later.
well, it takes. You got to enjoy it, right? So I do that. But who makes you breakfast?
Do you do? Actually, that's become your thing after the kids left the nest.
So I got that going for me.
Yeah.
This is the plaintiff, Tahira Edwards. She says she rented a room in the defendant's house, and the woman pulled out a purple gun and told her she needed to get out because she would be the only female living there. Things went downhill fast from there. The defendant made a false police report against her, saying she threatened her kids, and needless to say, she moved out. She's suing for $10,000 for rent, gas, and emotional distress.
No!
This is the defendant, Ronisha McKenzie. She says she told the plaintiff she couldn't guarantee anything regarding the room because she'd been threatened with eviction. So the plaintiff knew this was a temporary situation. Besides, the crazy woman threatened her kids, and now she's being sued for emotional distress. She is accused of lousy landlording.
Oh, wow.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
My ex-boyfriend was with me at the time because he was helping me move things in and out. And basically, he mentioned that he felt that it was an abandoned house because of the way that it looked. And I actually got mad at him because I was like, why are you trying to put negativity on my situation, you know? But I'm like, no, like, don't put that in the universe. I really want this to be a place where I can stay for a while.
When you think about who you are as a person, what do you think influences you more? Nature, nurture? I don't know where I come from, at least not yet. This is.
Are you ready? I got this. She's got this.
I had a job as an elf.
How tall are you?
Currently 6 foot.
Would I lie to you? New CW series premieres Saturday, April 9th.
Before you move out and file divorce or custody action in court, download my free book, The Ultimate Guide to Divorce and Custody in Virginia. How to quickly get back to fully living your life. Available at smithstrongbook.com.
King.
smithstrongbook.com.
Beat.
When I started having trouble breathing, I was concerned and a bit scared. I called Dispatch Health, and they sent a medical team out to care for me. They were friendly, professional, and they actually were able to give me an IV right in the comfort of my own living room. Dispatch Health
It's affordable, it's convenient, it's just a great service. If you or a loved one needs same-day medical care for a serious health issue, give us a call. One of our expert teams will deliver top-rated medical care to your door within a few hours. We're available 365 days a year, including evenings, weekends, and holidays. And we accept most insurance, including Medicare and Medicare Advantage. We'll help you feel better faster, so you can get back to enjoying all the moments you don't want to miss.
Hi, Dad. Hey. Hi, Tubbs. I've been a bad boy today, Tubbs. I've been a bad boy today.
Advanced non-small cell lung cancer. Your first treatment could be a chemo-free combination of 2 immunotherapies that works differently. It could mean a chance to live longer. Opdivo plus Yervoy for adults newly diagnosed with non-small cell lung cancer that is spread, tests positive for PD-L1, and does not have an abnormal EGFR or ALK gene. Together, Opdivo plus Yervoy helps your immune system launch a response that fights cancer in 2 different ways. Opdivo plus Yervoy equals a chance for more time together, more family time, more time to remember. Opdivo and Yervoy can cause your immune system to harm healthy parts of your body during and after treatment. These problems can be severe and lead to death. See your doctor right away if feeling cough, chest pain, shortness of breath, irregular heartbeat, diarrhea, constipation, severe stomach pain, nausea or vomiting, dizziness, fainting, eye problems, extreme tiredness, changes in appetite, thirst or urine, rash, itching, confusion, memory problems, muscle pain or weakness, joint pain, flushing or fever. These are not all the possible side effects. Problems can occur together and more often when Opdivo is used with Yervoy. Tell your doctor about all medical conditions, including immune or nervous system problems, if you've had or plan to have an organ or stem cell transplant, or received chest radiation. Here's to a chance to live longer. Ask your doctor about the combination of 2 immunotherapies, Opdivo plus Yervoy. Thank you to all those in our clinical trials.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff rented a room from the defendant. Turns out the defendant had no right to rent rooms, so the plaintiff wants her money back. Now the defendant says she told the plaintiff things were only going to be temporary because she was threatened with eviction, but the plaintiff wanted to move in anyway, so she owes nothing. It's the case of get a room.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Miss Edwards, what happened?
So I was just on Craigslist searching for rooms for rent. At the time, I was a caregiver and I was staying with one of my clients. I was hoping to find something up in the Antelope Valley because that is where my children are located. And I came across Ranisha's post. There was multiple posts for rooms for rent in this home that was located in Lancaster, California. I saw the photos of the master bedroom. I was instantly interested. I wanted something big, something that kind of felt like a studio. So that's what I went for. I ended up messaging her on the 16th of July around 2:13 p.m. She told me, when are you willing to rent? And I told her I would like to move in as soon as possible, hoping that I would get prorated rent. Since it was the middle of the month, it seemed as if she was willing to agree with that, and she told me to come by the next day so that I can go ahead and see what options she had available. So when I had came over there on, I believe it was a Saturday, the 17th, she showed me the rooms. There was only 2 of them she showed me. One was a master, the other was a small bedroom. The master was going for $800 and the smaller room was going for $400. I decided to go with the master bedroom. I explained to her that I needed to go and get money out of the bank so I can give her what she was asking for.
What was she asking for?
So she asked for the $400, which would have been the prorated rent, and she asked for a $300 deposit. So I gave her $400 plus the $300 deposit, and I gave her the $300 deposit in cash because I initially went to the bank to try to get money out. I could only get $300 out.
Okay, so I gave her $700. And then what happens? She asked you for another $250. How much later?
I think it was the next day over.
And what did she say was the reason that she was trying to get another $250 from you?
She said that the owner told her that she made a mistake in telling me that it was only $300 for the deposit, and that it was actually $550, I believe. And so I had ended up sending over another $250 through my Cash App to her account.
All right. Now, who else was living in the place?
I don't really know for sure who else was living there, but I was introduced to a man. I do not remember his name.
Can I ask you something? You said something about you wanted to move closer to your children. How old are your children?
My son is 6 years old and my daughter is 3.
Okay, so were you planning on using this as a residence, and are they in someone else's custody?
Yes, my ex-boyfriend, who is their father, his mother has legal guardianship as of December 2019.
All right, so wouldn't it matter who your roommates are going to be if the kids are going to be there?
Right. Well, they were not going to be there. It was
Gotcha.
supposed to be something that was just for me.
Gotcha. Okay.
We didn't get that far ahead.
Okay, so now what ends up happening? Do you move in what day?
It was the 17th that I moved in, so the same exact day that I gave her all of the funds.
And so
she gave
when do
me
you
keys.
find out something's wrong? And how do you find out?
Well, my ex-boyfriend was with me at the time because he was helping me move things in and out. And basically, he mentioned that he felt that it was an abandoned house because of the way that it looked. And I actually got mad at him because I was like, why are you trying to put negativity on my situation, you know? But I'm like, no, like, don't put that in the universe. I really want it to be a place I could stay for a while. And we just ignored it. Like, we stopped talking about it. And then basically we went shopping. I went to try to find a bed. I went to find, just things for the room because I wanted to decorate the room.
Right.
So
when do you find out something's wrong?
Basically, I was kind of starting to feel that maybe what he was saying was correct because the person that was living there, the man that was also in the home, I noticed when I was about to leave to go to the store, he was like, oh, are you guys coming back tonight? Oh, I'm just curious when you guys are coming back to the house. And I thought that was strange because I'm like, why are you curious when I'm leaving or coming? I live here now. I paid rent. I gave my deposit. I have my own key. So for him to have been asking me those questions.
So did you ask him, why are you asking me?
No, I decided to call her.
Okay.
And she was like, oh, I'm going to go talk to him right now. And I was like, no, please don't do that. Like, I don't want my roommate,
Okay, can I ask you to get to the point though a little bit? So here's what I'm concerned about. When she tells you I need another $250, who does she say the landlord is?
She didn't say at that time that the landlord.
At some point she says it's her father?
Later on, yes, she did text me and say that it was her father.
Okay, so when do you find out that you're being evicted? Let's get to the point here. When do you find out there's something really
9 o'clock in the morning.
On what day?
I believe it was Sunday.
What day? July what?
They're knocking on the door.
July what?
I believe it was the 19th or the 18th.
So a few days after you moved in, you get a knock on the door, and who is it?
The police.
All right, police accompanied by whom?
The owner was there.
The owner. And what did you learn when the police were there?
They just said, you guys have 10 minutes to get out of the home. You're being evicted. And I told the officer.
Well, that's not how evictions work. Okay. So you told the officer what?
I told him, I literally just paid for this room. I came across this ad on Craigslist for room for rent. And I just gave this person, Ronisha, money for this room. And he said, I'm sorry, that person is being evicted.
Okay. And that Ronisha was being evicted. Okay. Let me hear from you, Ms. McKenzie. What the heck is going on? She hands you $950, and within 72 hours, the police are there to drag her away. So what's going on? Were you in the middle of an eviction when you rented it out to her?
No. Joel, he's the owner of the house. I'm on the deed of the house, so I wasn't getting evicted. What he was mad about was me moving and renting out the rooms.
I'm sorry. How are you on the deed? That would make you an owner too. Do you own the house?
He's kind of like, yes.
May I see the deed?
And I explained it to
May
Amber.
I see the deed?
Yeah, I don't have it at the house I'm at now.
Okay, but according to her, the landlord's saying that you were evicted. What's your relationship with the landlord?
You can consider him my ex.
Did you date him?
Yes.
Okay. Did you call him your father at one point in the texts?
No. The guy who was living there with you is my father.
The guy who was living there? No. Did you call Joel your father? My father Joel in the texts? Yeah.
I probably did, yeah.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? So that's
Walk in the hill with it. Walk in the hill.
No, that's a cold-faced lie.
Walk in the hill with it.
Just hate cold-faced lies, that's for sure.
Good out there. She walks up in the hill with it.
That I had rented out the room.
What right do you have to rent out the rooms?
I mean, I was staying there for about 3 years, and he pretty much letting me run the house the way I wanted to.
Okay, were you
And he
paying
was
rent?
upset that I rented out the room.
Were you paying rent?
Yes.
Okay, when was the last time you had paid
We
rent?
paid half of the mortgage, not rent.
Okay.
Last month, because I'm still paying
Okay, so how is it then that the police took you out if you are an owner of the house?
Photos are great evidence, and they're also great on Instagram. So follow us there at the People's Court TV to see what goes on behind the scenes and catch an exclusive glimpse of